This is my strategy to improve the search engine rank of the Jacksonville chapter of Jack and Jill of America. The following will be just the three most important things that I think the chapter needs to address in regards to its search engine optimization strategy that will bring the most benefit to the chapter. Let's get started. These three areas are chosen because out of all of the areas that we can approach for SEO, these three things, keyword strategy, on-page organization, and content optimization, seem to be the most critically lacking areas that with a targeted approach can have a dramatic effect on the way that the site appears in search engines and therefore the authority that it has, and also improve our ability to fundraise, improve brand awareness, and to also entice more people to sign up to potentially become members of the organization. So when we look more specifically at each area, we want to, number one, work on the keyword strategy. As a chapter, there needs to be a consensus about what things does the chapter want to stand for. So when people search for certain terms, what is it that we are wanting our name to be associated with? And so that comes from the keyword strategy. Once there is a consensus to this, and once there's a common knowledge of what things it is that this chapter is wanting to stand for, then we will be able to move on to the next steps, and that is actually to focus on those things. But before we can focus, we have to know what we're focusing on. The next thing we need to talk about is on-page organization. The website in general does have a fair amount of useful information. The problem is not lack of information, but rather that the information is not laid out in a very easy to read, searchable, or even shareable format. There are a few links to social media sites where we can simply share with our followers. There are a few links to other useful organizations, and there's even fewer inbound links from other organizations linking to our content and finding it useful. But link is a whole nother strategy in itself. But focusing specifically on-page organization, if the pages are organized in a better way so that people are able to find what they're looking for, share the content, and benefit from it in a way that benefits the chapter, then that is actually a more beneficial thing. And while we have seen some improvement in rank on websites when UX gets better, generally speaking, UX, when you improve the user experience, which is what UX stands for, you will see more people come to the site. And then because the site is easier for people to navigate, then by virtue it's also easier for the search engines and the spiders, so quote unquote, to navigate, which does improve page rank. So what we're wanting to see here is a better page organization, and we can see that the users are able to navigate better. We should also see an improvement in page rank. Finally, the third thing I would recommend is that we talk about content optimization. There is content, as I mentioned before. However, it is mainly text-based. There are some images that do need to be better tagged, but the fact that there is very little video content, and even the images are not they need to be updated. They're not exactly optimized very well. So we want to take advantage of the fact that most web culture nowadays is looking more towards video and more easy to chew forms of content. And so to have something that's only text-based really does make it less appealing for people to browse the site and to find the information and to share the information, which is our ultimate goal. So our ability to rank higher also on engines that rank different kinds of content. So for example, getting better rank in YouTube for key videos, or even on Pinterest for key images, or other search engines and LinkedIn and things like that, could be more beneficial to us, because now we're not just ranking well on one site, but we're ranking on multiple sites, or multiple engines rather, with higher rank. So that would be another key benefit, in addition to higher page rank in the specifically targeted search engines. that can come from improving our content optimization. So those are the basic areas. I think the next steps for the chapter would be much more complicated, but for right now, those three things are critically important and are the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. So once those things are addressed, then we should start to reap the benefit of having a higher page rank. Thank you for your time.